Breaking news! One of the largest studies ever published on the renal diet is turning all the usual CKD food rules upside down. That's right, major changes are coming. Foods that were once banned are now proven healthy. But some of the items on your dinner table might be quietly damaging your kidneys. Catherine here, I'm a doctor of natural medicine, and I'm really excited today because this is one of the best and most comprehensive videos I have ever made about the renal diet. In fact, thanks to a huge study that was recently published in the AJKD, we finally know what foods you can eat and what you cannot eat. Yes, I'm telling you guys, get your notepads ready because this is huge. And I will be trying to cover as many foods as possible today. So, the way this video works is really simple. In the description below, you will find a list of all the foods I will be talking about today. And you can click them to go to the part of the video about each one of them. And for each food, I will also tell you for who it's healthy and for who it's unhealthy. So if you've been wondering, can I eat bananas with CKD, or do I need to cut our bread, or is brown rice safe for me? Prepare to get definitive answers and be ready to have your world completely shaken because this new study is that revolutionary. So let's start immediately. Let's see which foods you should eat and which you should avoid. First group of foods are frozen fruit and vegetables. Are they healthy or are they bad? So some people will tell you that since fresh fruit and vegetables are less processed and frozen are processed, fresh is healthy and frozen is not. But is that true? Well, actually, no. Guys, frozen fruit and vegetables are super healthy, says research, and you should absolutely consider them an alternative to fresh. Why, you ask? Fun fact, canned and frozen fruits and veggies are processed within hours of being picked. On the other hand, a shipping container is where many of the grocery store fruits we eat ripen. That's right. Think of grocery store fruits like teenagers on a long family road trip, stuck in a small space and forced to mature quickly. No wonder they show up bruised and bitter. On the other hand, minimally processed frozen fruit and veggies sometimes pack more nutrients than their fresh counterparts. This is especially relevant when it comes to antioxidants. As we can see, frozen fruits and vegetables may even be higher in antioxidants than their fresh counterpart. Now, this does not mean you should avoid, the seasonal fruits and vegetables you find at your local grocery store. Just that you can also have some frozen berries and your favorite frozen fruits and vegetables in the freezer, always ready to make a meal healthier. Okay, moving on. Up next, we will talk about canned fruits. Canned peaches, canned pineapples, canned pears, canned olives, stuff like that. What do you think, guys? Are those foods healthy? Let me know your opinion down in the comment section, and then we will see what the study says. Actually, just like for frozen, many people will tell you that canned fruits are processed, thus unhealthy. Are they right? Well, no, canned fruits are actually healthy. In fact, what the recent study we are examining found out is that canned fruit is just as healthy as any other fruit. Yeah, I can almost hear 1,000 internet influencers gasping, processed can't be healthy. Well, apparently, no one told the scientists who actually studied it. Anyway, there are a couple of caveats here. If you have diabetes or need to lose weight, you need to exercise some portion control because you see, it's a lot easier to overeat fruit if it came from a can. Now, the other caveat is that this fruit should be packaged in water. Most canned fruit you will find is literally swimming in syrup and added sugars, and you don't want any of that in your diet. Okay, what about fresh fruit, you ask? Is that alright? Well guys, in the study they mentioned a fairly long list of fruits that are absolutely healthy. You know, apples, pears, peaches, nectarines, plums, and they also included a long list of melons. They mentioned cantaloupe, fresh or frozen. I have never found frozen cantaloupe at the grocery store, but I guess it must be fantastic in a smoothie. And they also mentioned melon other than cantaloupe, such as watermelon or honeydew. Yeah, they really talk a lot about melons here. I guess they really wanted to make sure no CKD patient goes without melons anymore. I mean, I can totally picture them brainstorming. We should probably list apples and pears, but let's make it crystal clear, the cantaloupe is the real MVP here. And guys, if you think this is interesting, don't forget to share this video with anyone you know who suffers from kidney disease and that maybe needs some help with their diet. Because remember, nothing says I care about you like sending a friend a video about kidneys and melons. It's the hallmark of modern friendship. Anyway, at this point, you may be wondering, why should we trust this new study? Well, there are a couple of reasons why I consider this new paper highly trustworthy. First, it was published in the American Journal of Kidney Diseases, which is an extremely authoritative publication. Second, and even more important, it involved 2,538 CKD patients who were followed for up to 12 years. I mean, 12 years! That's no longer than most TV shows last. And I'd also add that the study's data has better character development than most of what you see on Netflix these days. Jokes aside, when a study tracks this many participants for this long, you can really trust what the results are telling you. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if some of the findings from this new study end up in future guidelines for CKD management. Okay, up next, let's talk about refined grains. You know, stuff such as pasta, white bread, white rice, tortilla chips, and a million other grain products. Do you think these are healthy or unhealthy? So the study says that they are unhealthy. Now guys, wait a moment before you throw out all of your white rice and your bread. There is a caveat to the statement that refined grains are not healthy. So yeah, actually, the way they collected their data in this study is very interesting. They divided the foods into 3 categories: healthy plant-based, unhealthy plant-based, and animal plant-based. For each category, they analyzed the prevalence of people consuming these foods during the study. They then compared it to the number of people who experienced fast progression to renal failure, loss of life, and also diabetes, high blood pressure, and cardiovascular events. Alright? I hope this is clear. So for example, people who were eating refined grains like pasta and bread regularly were found to have a higher chance of developing diabetes. Alright? This is why the researchers are classifying these foods as unhealthy plant-based foods. But you see, this lacks some nuance, in my opinion. Why, you ask? Well, let's talk about white rice. As we have seen, according to this study, a food is considered unhealthy when it can make you gain weight. Because of course, being overweight is linked to more diabetes, more cardiovascular events, high blood pressure, and so on. But what about someone who is underweight to begin with? Well then, certain refined grains still be healthy for them? White rice is an amazing source of clean calories for those who need them. In fact, it contains less protein per 100 kilocal than basically any other basic staple food, such as pasta and bread. This part is super important. For certain CKD patients, it's all about hitting those calorie targets without going overboard on protein. So, do you really think I'd tell an underweight CKD patients to cut out white rice just because this study puts it in the unhealthy column? Of course not. Nutrition isn't just black and white, especially when it comes to CKD. You have to look beyond the raw data if you want to build a plan that's fully tailored to your situation. So if you're interested in a diet that's both practical and personalized for your unique needs, shoot me an email and I will book you for a consultation. In fact, I'm now including a personalized diet based on most modern medical literature for all my new patients because I genuinely believe it can make your life a whole lot easier and your kidneys better. If you're interested, send me an email and let's chat. My email is catherine@newhopeforkidneypatients.com and you will also find a link in the description to contact me directly. I'm currently taking on new consultations, but my schedule's filling up fast. Email me today and let's take that crucial first step toward better kidney health together. Okay, up next, let's talk about brown rice. Now, this is a food many people are still confused about. I mean, if white rice is bad for most CKD patients, brown rice, which is higher in potassium and phosphorus, should be worse, right? Well, actually, no. Brown rice is healthy, guys. You see, according to this study and several other studies, I must say, all whole grains are healthy for you. Guys, always keep this in mind. Whole grains are the foods you must get most of your calories from every day. So eat brown rice, but also bulgur, farro, barley, buckwheat, amaranth, and all that stuff on a daily basis. These foods are incredibly healthy and are richer in fiber than anything else. Plus, they are all packed with nutrients and have a long list of health benefits. In fact, even if you have diabetes or if you are overweight, whole grains are healthy for you. And if you are worried about glycemic control, eat minimally processed whole grains. By the way, I always recommend whole grains to all my patients, and I have never had a single patient complain about not being able to lose weight when on my diet. Actually, the opposite is true. Most people following a low-protein, plant-based diet face the risk of losing too much weight too fast. Yeah, turns out it was the hamburgers, sodas, and pizzas that are making people fat, not the bulgur. Who could have guessed? Anyway, let's talk about something that you should actually be careful with if your goal is weight loss: bread. So the big question is, can you eat bread if you have CKD? What do you guys think? So the answer is, drumroll please, yes, bread can be healthy. Yeah guys, patients who expect me to say eat kale and misery are shocked when I show them how to make sandwiches with whole wheat bread. However, not all types of bread are healthy. You know the kind I mean, the loaf that stays fluffy for 2 weeks and smells like a brewery when you open the bag. That's not bread. That's a science experiment you should not sign for. So, for example, always avoid bread that contains stuff such as, barley malt, maltodextrins, cane juice crystals, muscovado, turbinado, sugar, and other creatively named sugars. Basically, avoid anything that reads like an unpronounceable sorcery spell. You're not a wizard, Harry. You just want a sandwich. Avoid that stuff. On the other hand, whole wheat bread, especially the less processed kind, is good for you even if you have diabetes. In moderation, of course. Remember what I was saying about nuance in interpreting scientific data? Yeah, whole wheat bread is great, but not when you eat 2 pounds a day of it. Okay, let's move on. There is a question from the comment section I want to answer here. My doctor told me that I can eat small portions of meat every day. Is that true? So what about meat in small portions? Is that safe for people with kidney disease? Well guys, no. The answer is no amount of meat is safe if your GFR is below 60. Same is also true for milk and dairy, poultry, fish, and eggs. And the study we are examining today also confirms that eating meat is linked to worse diabetes, worse hypertension, more risk for cardiovascular disease, and, of course, faster CKD progression. I mean, not that we needed any more confirmations about that. And guys, I have been wondered for a while now why some doctors still recommend lean meats to CKD patients, even if science is clear about the fact that meat is very bad for your kidneys. So I decided to ask. I went to a doctor that still recommends meat and I asked them, "Doctor," I asked, "why recommend meat to a patient with a GFR below 60 when it's clear their kidneys cannot handle the acid and the phosphorus?" Now, I half expected them to say, "Because bacon is tasty." But no, all I got was a written notes. Here it is. I will show you. Can anyone tell me what it says? Anyway, if you think that answer was bananas, well, let's talk about it. Okay, jokes aside, let's talk about bananas and other high potassium foods. These are always cause for confusion for most patients. So, should you avoid bananas, tomatoes, avocados, and all the usual suspects? Well, actually, they're healthy for you. Yes, this is what the study says. So, is 2025 the year CKD patients will be finally free to eat spinach and beets without problems? Well, guys, I never forbid my patients from eating these foods. But if your potassium level is as high as your cable bill, we will need to have a chat before you are free to eat, oranges and coconuts. But let me tell you, ditching high potassium fruits might cause more problems than it fixes. The issue is usually something else, like your losartan, for example. So up next, dried fruits. Are these fine as well? Well, no, they are not. Let me explain. Almost all high potassium fruits and veggies have been let off the hook for people with CKD, but there are still exceptions to the rule. Because, you see, while the effect of dietary potassium on serum potassium was vastly overestimated, eating potassium-rich fruit will still raise your serum potassium a little bit. I mean, a little bit if the fruit you eat is a banana or an avocado. And that's fine because these fruits are full of vitamins, healthy minerals, and plant compounds. But do you know what fruit has 5 times or more the potassium in a banana but without the vitamins? Dried apricots, raisins, or prunes. Yeah, when these fruits dried out, they lose a lot of nutrients, but not the potassium. So, you are now getting a lot of potassium with not a lot of health benefits. Not worth it. Okay, up next, potatoes. This one going to be controversial. Are potatoes good or bad? So according to the very large study published on the AJKD, potatoes are not good for you. Now guys, I'm not generally of the same opinion. You see, in this study, they grouped together all potato preparations in one single list of unhealthy foods. French fries, tater tots, potato chips, that's all junk food, of course. So apparently, the researchers lumped French fries and boiled potatoes into the same unhealthy basket. That's like calling your pet goldfish a shark, and just because they both swim. Now, I don't think boiled potatoes deserve to be in this group of unhealthy plant-based foods. In fact, as we can see, sweet potatoes and yams are listed as healthy in this study. So, what's the big difference between potatoes and sweet potatoes? Well, sweet potatoes have a little bit less potassium than regular potatoes, and yams have a little bit less vitamins and nutrients than regular potatoes. But are these foods inherently healthier than potatoes? Well, I don't think so. In my opinion, the big difference is that most people don't just fry sweet potatoes. Yep, it's just that. This is why sweet potatoes and yams are in the healthy part of the renal diet, because apparently no one dares to deep fry yams at midnight with extra cheese. So they're still considered healthy. Amazing. Anyway, interestingly enough, all kind of nuts are also in the healthy part of the renal diet as well, including, as we can see, peanut butter and other nut butters. Now, while you can go crazy with most veggies, actually, I recommend great moderation with peanut butter and similar. These are caloric dense foods that are also rich in protein. Always make sure you can fit them in your daily target for protein and calories as well. Now guys, if I missed any of your favorite foods here, let me know in the comment section. And if you want to see more healthy foods, my video up here is for you. And this is all for today. Thank you for watching. God bless you all. Bye!